Have you ever pondered over the scenario of a desert experiencing rain for 30 consecutive days? Imagine it, the world's driest, most barren landscapes, where the sun reigns supreme and water is but a mirage, suddenly drenched in a month-long deluge. To set the stage, let's first understand what a desert is. A desert, by definition, is an extremely dry area with sparse vegetation. It's a place where rainfall is as rare as finding an oasis. These are the landscapes that are often painted as lifeless and barren, where survival is a daily struggle for the few organisms that call it home. Now let's take this understanding and flip it on its head. What if, against all odds, it rained in the desert for 30 continuous days? What would happen to the scorching sands, the sparse vegetation, the hardy wildlife? Imagine the driest place on Earth transforming into a wetland. An intriguing thought, isn't it? Now let's dive into the immediate effects of the hypothetical 30-day deluge. Imagine the first droplets of rain touching the desert's parched surface. It's a sight to behold as the desert springs to life in a burst of color and activity. Plants, dormant for what seems like an eternity, would bloom with a renewed vigor. The wildlife too would find this sudden downpour a boon as they revel in the abundance of food and water, yet not everything is as rosy as it seems. The desert's dry, compacted soil can't absorb water quickly, so what starts as a gentle rain could swiftly turn into a dangerous flash flood, sweeping away everything in its path. The desert's natural inhabitants, adapted to survive in dry conditions, could find themselves in peril, struggling to keep afloat in the sudden surge of water. The desert at first would seem to be coming alive in ways not usually seen. As the rain continues, the scenario starts to change. Over time, the desert's usual dry and arid landscape is morphed into a terrain submerged in water. But what does this mean for the desert and its inhabitants? The first problem to arise with continuous rain is soil erosion. Deserts are composed of loose, sandy soil which is easily washed away by heavy rainfall. The rainwater would start to erode the desert's topsoil, the layer rich in nutrients and organic matter. This soil is crucial for the survival of desert plants, and with it washed away, plant life would struggle to thrive. Now you might be thinking, but wouldn't the rain be good for the plants? In most cases, yes, rain can be beneficial, but desert plants have adapted to survive in harsh, dry conditions, not in waterlogged environments. The excess water could drown the plants, causing their roots to rot and eventually leading to their demise. The loss of plant life would destabilize the desert ecosystem. Plants play a vital role in any ecosystem, providing food and shelter for various organisms. Without them, the entire food chain could collapse, leaving many animals without their primary food source. Speaking of animals, the desert's wildlife would also be severely impacted by the prolonged rain. Many desert creatures are not adapted to such wet conditions. For instance, reptiles like lizards and snakes, which rely on basking in the sun for warmth, would struggle in the wet and cold environment. Insects, too, that thrive in the dry sand would find their homes washed away. Moreover, the flooding could also lead to the displacement of many animals, forcing them to leave their homes in search of drier grounds. This could result in a mass migration of desert animals, causing further disruption to the ecosystem. All in all, the extended rain would turn the desert into a waterlogged wasteland, a stark contrast to its original state. The once vibrant ecosystem, teeming with unique life adapted to the harsh conditions, would be left in ruins. A desert turned into a waterlogged wasteland, a stark contrast to its original state. So, a 30-day rain in the desert, a blessing or a curse? Well, as we've discovered, it's a bit of both. Initially, the desert would welcome the rain, giving life to dormant seeds and sparking a vibrant bloom of flora. Wildlife would flourish, and the barren landscape would transform into a verdant oasis, teeming with life. However, as the rain continues, this blessing quickly turns into a curse. The desert's ecosystem, adapted for aridity, would struggle to cope with the deluge. The soil, unable to absorb the excess water, would lead to widespread flooding, causing habitat destruction and species displacement. The balance of life would be disrupted, perhaps irrevocably. This hypothetical 30-day rain in the desert serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance that exists within our planet's ecosystems. It underscores the importance of preserving this equilibrium, for too much change can be detrimental. The desert, a place of extreme conditions, shows us that even in the harshest of environments, balance is key, and too much of a good thing can indeed be harmful.